right? So I dump all the documents. There's so
Okay.
much of documents in there, okay? It has list of some nearly 300 SCCM questions, some 200 Intune questions with answers. Okay, everything is available there, okay? But that's not really how it just takes five. As soon as you start an interview, within 5-10 minutes, we can identify a person has really worked or not. Okay, so that is what I wanted to just say, okay? So okay, so again, people who really don't know ABCD of any kind of typically, I know people who already attended. So all these days, what? Okay, I'm not sharing the screen. Okay. Okay. So this is what I really very fundamental, maybe boring for some others. So if you take all these 20 years, we had always all these Windows XP clients, okay, Windows 7, all these clients, right? So we always had AD in the picture. The devices were domain joined, okay, and we used to deploy GPOs, okay. Secondly, and then there was an SCCM server, which is again an on-premise based, and this was again integrated with WSUS as a feature, okay. And then the way patching was done is the SCCM server used to download patches from the internet and patch by patch, right? So people, SCCM admins will select the patches and deploy the patches based on their priority, based on their solution, based on their hardware model or whatever it is, okay? So thirdly, they used to deploy applications, okay, all packaged applications into SCCM, and SCCM used to deploy applications to your Windows machine, right? And after the SCCM is done, so what we used to do really is the patch management, SCCM OSD. So OSD is how people actually build images, right? They Most of the companies really procure all these laptops, right? And once they procure all the laptops, they used to format it. They prepare an image called something called as a golden image, and though that golden image had drivers and apps installed in it, and they make this 3 GB of ISO that you probably might have downloaded into somewhere around 8 GB of operating system, and that 8 GB is literally uploaded to your SCCM server, and SCCM has the capability of OS deployment. As soon as you connect the LAN cable to this laptop, it would boot into LAN and install that operating system. Okay, so basically the gold image is here, and this gold image has all the apps and drivers or anything based on the hardware model. So that is how at a very high level people used to do it for last 15-20 years. Okay, but things need to be changed. Okay, so now if you actually look at this, so it's resource intensive. Okay, starting off with the problems with OSD. So if you download OSD is again a technical term, you OS deployment, right? So OS deployment is a thing. If you look at OSD, people used to create gold images. They used to run some task sequences, and they used to club that with some of the drivers based on the hardware model, and people always used to change the hardwares. Okay, all these problems were always there with OSD. And then number of images that they need to test it, add it into SCCM and distribute it into remote sites like your distribution sites was huge. Ultimately, what is there in that operating system? It is OS plus apps. What else? That's all, right? So some drivers and packages. But if you look at the new machine that we already have, it already has OS, it already has drivers, right? All it need is just the apps. Okay. So there was really a no point of wiping a device, okay, and then re-imaging the device with the same operating system. Okay. So same thing. What else? So all these were traditional methods. Okay. So when I say traditional methods, not that people are not following it. Okay. There are some still stubborn people as to difficult to change. Okay. So there are still few people who are using OS deployment methods for multiple reasons. Okay. They either have a team who is very strong in OSD. There are some challenges like, where there is low remote network connectivity, or even IT wants to do it, but the staff, okay, the employees really don't want to provision the devices remotely, all of that. So, Edel, why is SCCM or GPO are used is one is application deployments remotely. Two is patch management. Okay. The third is device provisioning. When I say device provisioning is deploying security policies and non-security policies. Okay. And apart from that, there is nothing much you were actually doing it, right? Collection of inventory. Okay. That's all we used to do it. So that is at a high level SCCM capabilities. Okay. So remote control was one thing. Okay. They have added remote control here. Okay. The application management part, it is again the same module that deploys the application module even in Intune. Okay. So people who really know what is the purpose of Intune? Intune is simply managing a device. When I say managing a device, it is just used to do a patch management, application management, security and non-security setting. Okay. That's all. Nothing more than that. Okay. So we're not doing anything magical, anything additional, anything beyond policy deployment from Intune. That is 80%. So 70% application is rest of it. Okay. So this, when I say security and non-securities, it is literally replacing your GPO. Okay. As of today, I think it is already more or less replaced. Okay. So all these years, there was always a parity between GPO and Intune. Now, even almost all the security, I mean, all the banking companies also don't see any differences. Okay. Almost all the policies can be deployed from Intune in one or the other way. Okay. There is nothing additional that GPO has and Intune does not have. Okay, so I think, as I said last time, there were somewhere around 9,340, 350 policies that you have in Intune. Okay, so that is your majority part. Okay, secondly, if you look at the way people assume Intune, okay, people who come from SCCM background think this Intune as an application deployment tool or a patch management deployment tool. Okay. People who come from MDM background, okay, think Intune as a proper MDM tool. Okay, the way people who think from the MDM perspective is a different way. Okay, they think little bit like a mobile device. Okay, they always see even a Windows device as a mobile device. Okay, always internet connected, always up to date. Okay, exactly the way they see it as a mobile device. People who come from the security background, they see Intune as a security deployment tool. Okay. People whoever is now working under the security, M365 security, be it Defender or any of the Purview solutions, DLP solutions, right? They see Intune as a medium tool who can deploy all the security solutions, security policies to those things. Okay. It depends which environment you work now. Okay. So if you're not working in an environment where you have just doing a combination of SCCM and Intune, you'll always feel that it is an application deployment tool, patch policy deployment tool. Okay. Autopilot is again a kind of a device provisioning. Okay. That is your major part. Secondly, the MDM part is they just consider Windows as an MDM part where deploy security. The majority comes for iOS and Android and Mac OS. Okay, they always treat all of these as a policies. Again comes MAM. Okay, so the application management part. Okay, so all that is part of Intune. Security again is again part of Windows being in almost all the security settings that in Windows that you have is now inbuilt, right? There is nothing additional that Windows 10 or Windows 11 has. Everything is inbuilt, be it secure boot, okay, or I mean, apart from that, so base credential guard, application guard, okay, almost all of your device guard, and then Defender antivirus, Defender, AV, and then all of the policies that you see, like ransomware protection, control folder access, okay, everything is already baked into Windows 11 operating system, and you don't need agents for enabling or disabling any of those policies. Okay, everything can be done in Intune. Okay, so any questions till now? No.
So OS deployments are not working in Intune.
There's nothing like OS deployment here at all. Okay. So if you have a device, when do you say it is a managed device? Okay. In our terms, we say a managed device if it is enrolled to Intune. Okay. The word is very important. It's enrolled. Okay. Which is nothing but now this Intune can now start pushing policies. Okay. In our old typical client server model, if this was SCCM, when do we say this machine is SCCM managed? When SCCM client is installed, right? If an SCCM client is installed, we say this is now managed with SCCM. Okay, so because SCCM can push policies to this. Okay, this is an SCCM agent. Intune does not have an agent. Okay, it is built into the operating system. Okay, but there is a client, OMA-DM. It is OMA-DM is the client in the task manager that you see when Intune policy is working. OMA is nothing but Open Mobile Alliance. DM is device management. Okay, that's your protocol for any MDM. Okay, if not Intune, even if you have Workspace one, OMA DM is the client. Okay, it's a single client for all the MDM based solutions. Okay, so on the same machine, if the device is enrolled to Intune, okay, enrolled to Intune, and also if it has SCCM client installed, we say this client is co-managed. Instead of just managed, we say co-managed because this same client is already managed with Intune. Intune can push policies as well, and this is now also has an SCCM client installed, and now and hence we can push policies to from SCCM server as well. Okay, and if the same machine is, and most of the machines are joined to the on-premise Active Directory. Okay, so on-premise Active Directory. So we say this is now domain joined, co-managed, right? This client is now domain joined because it is now joined to a domain. It is managed by Intune and it is also managed by SCCM. And hence the term we use is it's a co-managed device with domain joined. And now if the same machine is also joined to Entra, we say this machine is now co-managed with hybrid ID. So all different, 4 different components, okay? So these terms are very, very common, okay? So very common when we are trying to speak, most of them are already aware of it. But there's a lot of confusion between what is hybrid, what is co-managed, what is standalone. Okay, standalone is nothing but only if the device is managed only with Intune. Okay, here the co-managed, the term is only used if SCCM is a product, okay? Not Ivanti, not other traditional co-management solutions. Okay. Yeah, Chandra, you raised
Sorry.
your hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have one doubt. Co-managed in the sense, in the mission software center will be available or company portal will be available?
in this machine?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is software center?
So what are the machines managed by SCCM? Software center will be available. If company if Intune is managing the device, company portal will be available. That is my
Is
understanding.
software center, okay, so software, okay, people who have SCCM background, is software center mandatory for a device to be managed with SCCM?
Yes, yes. If client is
Yes.
installed, then software center will be
Software
available.
will be available.
Yes.
SCCM agent is the like a primary site.
Yeah, already you told na client must be installed.
Correct.
If a CCM client is installed, the software center is a part of CCM or is a
Yes.
separate component?
Part of.
SCCM is the part of.
It comes along with the client only, Raj.
If SCCM agent is installed, definitely software center will be visible and action policies will be available more than 5. So those setup will be available.
So if the company portal is installed,
It means and totally it is managed by Intune.
okay. So here it is a different thing, okay? So as I said, right, this does not have an SCCM client, CCM client. Just like this does not have an Intune does not have a client, okay? So you don't have to have company portal for the device to be managed or not managed. Company portal is just an application, okay? Even if you don't have a company portal, the device can enroll, the device can unenroll, the device can still manage and be pushed. Company portal is not the client application of Intune.
Yes, correct. But user wants to install any application for business requirement, how they will install without company
If
portal.
it is a co-managed, they have to use SCCM. And if they're using Intune company portal, Intune as an application deployment tool, and if they want to install optional application, only then company portal people can install it. I'm not saying they don't want to install, okay? It is not mandatory. But if someone wants to install company portal, they can install company portal. And if there are both the applications, both the applications, okay? So then any one, whichever is your application deployment tool, okay? You might have either select Intune as a co-managed application or SCCM as a co-managed application. So whichever you have entered, that will be your, whichever you open, that will be your application deployment source.
Yes, Raj, I just want to add that this scenario, like we have hybrid environment, and actually we have blocked the company portal on the user machines. So we explicitly enable the company portal for few of the users. I mean the particular to our group. So whatever the application we push through SCCM, so it will reflect in both the company portal and in software center. So whenever you install any application, kind of suppose Adobe or any AutoCAD in software center, the same if you open the company portal, it will show there, but it will show as a install because it's a hybrid environment, and so the complaints will show in the company portal as well.
Correct.
Yeah, am I audible, Raj?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yes.
Yeah, that is exactly the experience that you get. Okay. So Intune is also deploying applications. SCCM also is deploying applications, right? But during the co-management state, we have to either select Intune as your application deployment tool or SCCM is your application deployment tool. But Vinay just said in their company, SCCM is their chosen application deployment source. So what actually happens, whether you install SCCM, whether you install the software center or the company portal, when you launch it, you'll see the applications from SCCM alone. It works the other way also. If you have chosen Intune as your primary application deployment tool, and if you have installed either software center or company portal, once you launch it, it will identify this is my primary source, and it will reflect all the applications that Intune has pushed to this user or this device.
Raj, Deepak here. I have one question.
In which scenario we use co-manage?
Okay, that's a different. I'll come to that later. Okay. So, but okay. Any other? Okay. In which scenario? So, Vinay, in which scenario your company was using co-managed?
Sorry, Raj, I didn't get the question.
Okay. The question was in which scenarios people use co-managed?
Like all the devices are like managed by both Intune and the SCCM. So, but the company portal has been blocked throughout the enterprise. So we have enabled to test this scenario for like a few IT users, this company portal.
Okay. I think, yeah, see why people use co-management, right? Simply because they already have SCCM. First thing, they might have somewhere around 50,000, 100,000 devices in SCCM. They just cannot, or they don't want to move away. Okay, they don't have plans to move away from SCCM at all. Okay, they want to keep SCCM. Okay, one of the reason is they might have published somewhere around 5,000, 10,000 applications already in SCCM. It is doing the job very well for them, right? So why will they move unnecessarily? It's a huge complex environment and they have around 10,000 plus 50,000 plus devices and they have already packaged 5,000 applications and working properly. So they will not repackage all these applications and put it in Intune, right? So they're moving away from SSCM to Intune is never in their idea unless Microsoft says we are stopping SCCM, which Microsoft will not say, right?
And that too, so the organizations might have the very big applications, and that those big size of application, they cannot push it to the cloud and get
Correct.
it installed on the user machine because it will choke the network. And we cannot, one more like a challenge through Intune is like syncing the policy. I think I'm not sure, like maybe after initial cycles of sync, I think after that the sync cycle, the difference will the time taking will be more. I'm not sure, I think, because I've seen like the syncing will take more time, but in the SCCM, soon after we ran the policies, right, immediately,
Yeah.
the applications will trigger in the software center. And whenever we work on the remote users who are all, critical sites which are like very crucial for the business, then they cannot wait for 30 or 40 minutes to get it sync and get the application it reflect in their software center or company portal.
Okay. Yeah. So this okay, yeah. So that is one reason. Okay. So other reason is OSD itself. Okay. People are using OSD deployment and they would like to stick to this method of provisioning new devices. Okay. So again, as the example, right? So if you look at some of the companies, not all, okay, some of the companies, even though operating system is around 3 GB, 4 GB, office applications will be another 3 GB or 4 GB, right? So the rest of the business applications that they have, okay, if they're working in some serious health industries or some finance, insurance, right? They have some legacy traditional applications which are again somewhere around 10 GB. Like, AutoCAD, business, some designing applications will be around 25 GB, 20 GB. They don't want to deploy that in the tool. Okay. Instead, they would package an entire thing in an operating system, just put it in a network drive or even in a USB drive and start installing, provisioning the machines. Okay. So people who continue to use SCCM, the primary reason is OSD and the number of applications they already have. Okay. These are the only two reasons. Okay. Maybe inventory. Okay. If they're doing proper inventory management of the number of softwares that computer has, okay, number of licensed softwares that they are using, that's the third reason. Okay. And apart from that, there should not be any reason for using SCCM. I don't see any. So patch management again. So it's again patch management. Now it's a service based. Okay. Now I don't think so. It is anything better than what Intune actually sends the patch policies. Okay, the way SCCM again, see, it depends whether you are not all of your client machines are internet exposed, right? You can have your uh, office premises, okay, where there are desktops like call centers, like some banks and all. They're always in the desktop only, right? So if these desktops are directly connected to SCCM, it's better, right? So patch management when the devices are within your office premises, also SCCM is a better solution. Intune, for everything it needs internet connection. As long as these devices are remote and free and more modern approach, Intune works much better. And Intune will only do the less administration compared to SCCM. If you have SCCM, a lot of administration is needed, managing all these SCCM servers itself, SQL servers, databases, and then updating, managing them, and then distributing all the data to your distribution sites. So it all depends, okay? It's not a bad tool, it's the greatest tool that Microsoft has ever come up with for client management. At the same time, we also there are companies who are really thinking, is that much of investment necessary for just monitoring the machine? Okay, just pushing few applications to the machine. Okay, so all those things people are thinking about, but if you actually look at it, it depends.
Raj, actually, I have one query.
Yeah.
Actually, suppose if everything is managed by the SCCM, then why company introduce Intune? Means they want means means one any application they want to push by the Intune, or they want to you know decommission the SCCM. That's why
Hmm.
both technology they are using.
Okay, so if you look at the same documentation, okay, Microsoft recommend.
I assume only they want to move on Intune. That's why.
No, no, okay, so if you good, okay, or whatever it is, performance, wherever. Whichever Microsoft official recommendation, if you are going, okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, stars.
Yeah, visual.
Okay. You determine. Oh God. Okay. So fine. That out. Okay, I'll share that link. I don't know where is that. because there is guidance on what needs to be moved. Okay. See, again, the answer is simple. Okay, so it is, yeah, they are indirectly saying that for all the new devices, only have Intune and also Azure AD. Completely get rid of your on-premise AD and SCCM for all the new implementations.
Yeah, that's why they are introduced both technology, because I think they do not want SCCM more. Okay.
No, that is right. What I'm saying, if someone already has an SCCM, they will not move. Okay, it's not easy for them to move. They have been using that product for last 15 years, right?
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Means if they introduce Intune, might be they want some, they want some deployment.
They-
It's SSM not capable. Okay, might be. I'm not aware. I'm not, expertise, but they introduce Intune as well. Might be some application they want to manage by the Intune only. And SSM
Yes, Raj, 100% you are correct. Why they are implementing Intune in every organization? Their main motto is they have to reduce the headcount. One, and compared to SCCM, Intune is the advanced technology to deliver the project within the short time and less number of work.
okay.
So very soon, SCCM will be not be more than all the organizations. That's why we are trying to launch Intune. Am I right, Raj?
No, you're absolutely correct. Okay, so I'm not saying SCCM is a bad product, or Microsoft is
Yes.
not saying that SCCM they are going to remove. If they say that word, they are going to be blasted left, right, center. But they have known and see, okay, they know internally. Okay, they know internally. I know internally that it will be removed someday. Just like how MBAM is removed. People who know MBAM, Microsoft BitLocker administration, right? So MBAM they silently removed and moved everything to the Azure AD and then Intune encryption, right, of your BitLocker. So similarly, see, I'll tell you something, okay? So there is zero development in Microsoft SCCM, okay? And there is 90% development in Microsoft Intune, okay? Every day, every week, every month, they keep on adding things, okay? So if you actually look at how many knew this Intune What's New is a very, very famous page. So what's new in Microsoft Intune? If you come and look at this page, if you see the week of November 18, which is just a week back, and the number of, I'm just talking about, this is a week of November 18, 2024. Look at the amount of new features and new improvements that they have done. Okay, so this is related to iOS devices. This is additional installation of error reporting. This is this is Teams app protection. This is device configuration, new settings available for device configuration. What are the settings? It explains. Firmware configuration for Samsung devices. This is again Apple, new settings for Apple. Again, what are the settings that I just highlighted in Mac OS, and then firewall settings, device management. In all these, they have updated. Okay, I'm just giving, okay. Windows 365 link is now available in public preview. Store Mac OS certificates in user keychain. So again, subsystem for Linux, new apps, okay. Designer for co-op apps, monitor and troubleshoot. They have added something here. New device. You see, in just 1 month, they have added this, okay. And in week of October, again, you will see this one. And in the same week, just 10 days back, again, there's a new service release. Again, you can go on and go on, okay. Again, in the same October, this is in a month, 2 to 3 new updates you will get. Okay, so that much of development every day you'll see. And this is for exact reason there is no point of creating anything. If you are coming back to this Intune console or any kind of console, right? You take a screenshot and develop something and create a document and give the document after 6 months to someone, they will not even know the path. Okay, say for example, someone asks how to publish an application and you create a note taking the screenshots here. Okay, okay, come to Windows. I've seen people, okay, come to Windows, click on add button. They'll add the screenshot here and they'll create a document. Okay, This is fine, but if you look at the other features in Intune, if you look at tenant administration and number of things that they keep on adding here, your documentations are completely outdated. Okay, so that's all I can say. So there's no point of creating any document in today's time for any cloud product. See, I'm not even talking about Intune. If you actually look at this, people who logged into Entra ID just few months back, have you looked at this thing?